It's SBK Live on Real Radio 104.1. It's Friday. Hey, and look who's back in the studio. A couple of, I don't know how long ago, 6 months ago?
About 6 or 8 months.
6 or 7, 8 months ago. Our buddy Dan is back from Honduras. What's up, Dan?
All right, thank you guys very much for having me back.
Get up on that mic, man.
All right. Thank you guys for having me back again.
So what have you been up to since you last visited us?
Well, the last time that I was here, I had just officially got my 501c3.
All right, now
approved.
First, let's start from the beginning. Tell everybody what it is that you do.
All right, well, I run and operate a nonprofit organization based out of Kissimmee. It's called My Brother's Keeper International Missions. Mm-hmm. And basically it just started, it was just me going down. I volunteered for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. I went down Christmas Day last year.
Right.
So I volunteered for 3 weeks at an orphanage down there. Some friends that I knew from Kissimmee that ran a nonprofit organization down there called Open Doors Ministries. And while I was down there, their two main employees that ran the orphanage quit or got fired for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So they were kind of stuck with nobody to stay with the kids. And
And you were just there on a 3-week volunteer.
Yeah, I didn't even speak the language or anything.
And you ended up running the place.
Well, not running it, but I was the adult living there taking care of the boys in the boys' home.
So how many kids are you talking?
At that time, I think I probably had 8 boys, and then immediately adjacent is another little house or casita with about 8 or 9 girls in it.
So you're with these kids. There's a obvious language barrier.
Yeah.
But you're there to help,
mm-hmm.
and you kind of you're figuring your way through this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I learned a lot about the language of unspoken language. About emotions and dealing with the kids like that. And then as soon as I learned how to say "Como se dice," how do you say? I just keep walking around the house. Como se dice? Como
just
se
pointing
dice?
at stuff. Yeah.
So they basically started teaching me Spanish, a lot more Spanish than I was teaching them English.
And you can learn Spanish quick when it's like sink or swim.
Yeah, I mean, That's basically, I had bought the Rosetta Stone because that's the concept immersion.
Now, does that work?
I only did it for a couple days and it really was working. And then I kind of, got bored of it. It was before I went. But once I went down there, I just went with the immersion, the real immersion.
So how good are you now?
I can carry myself a conversation where I need to, whenever I need to, but it would be twice as good if my best friend that I live with down there didn't speak English. So I've been spoiling him and helping his English get better. We speak English about half the time.
Right.
But I'm also now, since the last time, because if you remember, the community that I live in now is a totally different kind of indigenous people. Mm-hmm. It's a mix of West African and Carib Indian from when the slaves were coming over. So they have actually their own language called Garifuna. So now I'm starting to learn that a little bit. Or you remember, I only knew a couple words last time I came.
You're learning even,
So I'm learning a little bit more of that.
So bring us up to speed. So then you spent the 3 weeks, then you...
Okay, so I wound up staying for a couple months, about 2.5 months. And the last month I was there, the kids were driving me, not crazy, but not having anybody my age to talk to or just not being able to leave the property because there was nobody else to really relieve me. Right. I finally started getting them to give me a day or two where I can go on the weekends and go explore a little bit of Honduras. And I just wound up stumbling into this village. I was looking for something to do as a tourist. And I thought it was a lot more touristy than it was. When I got there, it was pretty much just a ghetto, a third world country ghetto. Mm-hmm. And I wound up being approached by a group of guys. And I had the choice of either hightailing it and go and find my hotel or go talking to them, and I wound up making a friendship, hanging out with them for the day, and then just coming back like every weekend or every other weekend. And I just seen huge need everywhere, especially with the kids. Education system is really non-existent or corrupted, and there's no work, there's no hope for a lot of them. So I just decided to move back there and start my own organization in that town, Sambo Creek.
And then you came back, we met you, and then you went back.
Yeah, since I came back here, I've probably been back 2 more or 3 more times.
Okay.
And so the last time I came here, I was just working and paying all the money to get it done legally, everything done correctly.
You had to set up the charity and all that, right?
And so I was already down there kind of doing my own thing, but it was just me, and I didn't really have a plan or didn't know what I was doing. But I just knew that I had to do it correctly if I wanted to get help and get corporations and stuff behind it. So I did that. I came in. You guys helped me create a little buzz, and we did an event. And I went back. The next trip was not horrible. It was great for me meeting and getting to know on a personal level the people in the community. But usually I like to be in touch with people back here, you know,
Right.
updating pictures and video, and that's how I get everybody involved and keeping on tabs of what I'm doing. And I was just having so many problems. No internet, my camera, one came up missing, one broke, and I was thinking after about 5 weeks of freaking out and having anxiety because I wanted it to go right, I realized I'm missing the point on it. I'm supposed to be here for the kids, you know, and if other people get on it, great, you know, but
Right.
So I just decided for the last couple of weeks, I'm not going to worry about it. I know every time I come back, people are here, you know, willing to find a way to get involved. So the last couple of weeks, I really just spent building those relationships with those people and going into their homes. And, you know, we was doing a feeding station already when I went back.
Right.
So I started teaching English. We started fixing up old rundown building and turning it into like a little schoolhouse. Then I came back. It was going pretty good, but to me, it still wasn't. And I was feeling bad. I was wanted to stay in touch with you guys, but the thing is, I didn't have a good website and this, that, and I didn't feel like it was professional to keep doing it just all off of Facebook.
Well, let me ask you this, Dan. So how old are you?
I'm 29.
Why did you stop your life to go to Honduras and just like totally get involved in a totally different world?
Well, I touched on part of that subject last time I was in, but just I was achieving, you know, everything that I was thinking that I wanted. Every time I kept thinking new plans, what I want to do in my life, I was going after. I was achieving it, getting, you know, nice house, nice cars, everything I wanted, and, you know,
It wasn't fulfilling
it
you.
wasn't fulfilling me. You know, I just started having a lot of, you know, it was bringing up a lot of spiritual issues, different things, like just searching out what is the deal, you know, and through a lot of studying different, you know, things. I love whenever I can catch a show when Da Vinci's in here because he's always talking about whether it's yoga or some Buddhist philosophy or some, you know, that's what I was going through for about 2 years, just trying to just read and, you know,
You were trying to find something.
find myself,
Right.
and I realized, you know, that myself has nothing to do with all those possessions and everything. And if I keep chasing that, I'm never going to find myself.
You'll never fill that pit up. Like if you want to, you know, if you want to be a baller, you'll never outdo the next guy or never outdo
Never
yourself.
ends.
Yeah.
It never ends. And, you know, if you go back into all ancient traditions, religions, that know thyself, that's like the main thing. That's your goal while you're here alive, is to become acquainted with who you are. And the more deep down that hole you go, you realize that we're all connected, and you start looking at the bigger picture. You start looking at the world or your town or whatever, and realizing just because a lot of other people ain't doing nothing about it, they're asleep, they're not conscious to it. That doesn't, when you wake up to it, you now are responsible to step up and do something about the injustices, inequalities, whatever.
All right, Dan. Well, check it out. Our guest, our buddy Dan O, is here. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back, and I want you to tell us what you're doing now and what an average day is like for you and your responsibilities.
Okay.
And whether you want to or not, we're gonna tell people how they can help. All right.
Oh, awesome.
You listen to SBK Live.